to Spearscope. I'm Draksha and today we'll be talking about China's military tactics to bring Taiwan under its control. China, which has never announced the use of military force to bring Taiwan under its control, has stepped up military activities around the democratically governed island to pressure Taiwan to accept China's sovereignty. Looking at this,
Chinese fighter jets carried out simulated attacks as they flew near Taiwan's airspace. Warships sailed close to the island's military bases and major ports, and long-range rockets flew in the direction of the self-ruled democracy. All this was part of war games following House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taipei. To understand what China's army is doing, military analysts have been looking at footage from state media and mapping the locations where the drills have taken place. Beijing sees Taiwan as part of its own territory, and with these military drills, it's showing how it would seek to isolate the island in the event of a conflict. These are 6 zones where the Chinese People's Liberation Army has been holding its exercises in recent days.
looking at the situation from China's perspective, China, which views democratically governed Taiwan as its territory, has been staging up various military activities around the island for over past 3 years to pressure Taipei to accept Beijing's claim of sovereignty. A military researcher from Taiwan's National Policy Foundation stated that it is important for China to practice long-distance missions because in any conflict, China would be the one to be in the main combat mode. He also stated that China regards breaking 2 first islands as an important tactical goal. He said this referring to the islands that run from Japan to Taiwan, Philippines onto Borneo, including the coastal seas of China.
China appears to be practicing its ability to enforce a blockade in Taiwan by putting its ships and planes basically in a big circle around Taiwan.
During the drills, China showed that different branches of its army can work in sync.
China's clearly trying to show that it can operate in various regions around Taiwan. It can coordinate that large military across the seas and the air, and with its missiles and its intelligence gathering, its communication, its reconnaissance.
But the drills also showed that Beijing's military has limitations. Military analysts say that China appears to lack the assets to impose a total blockade of the island, so instead, it seems to be preparing for a sort of quarantine around Taiwan.
A mini blockade of Taiwan, cutting off aspects of its connections with the rest of the world, allowing Taiwan to import food, but not allowing it to bring in other materials, for instance, oil.
Looking closer at where some of the zones were set up shows how China could choke off the island. This zone located north of Taiwan is just some 30 miles away from Taipei, which is home to the island's busiest international airport. And this southwest zone is near Taiwan's most important commercial port. And then there's the Taiwan Strait, one of the busiest trade routes in the world. The proximity of the action to key shipping routes in the region triggered the delays of some commercial flights and shipments, demonstrating the pain China could also inflict on board.
Looking at this situation from a global perspective, China has already sent dozens of aircraft, bombers, fighters into the skies of Taiwan's south, some crossing Bashi Channel, which separates Taiwan from Philippines, into the Pacific, accompanying Chinese warships. This will adversely affect Taiwan. Now let's look at what people have to say about this situation.
Good morning from Spearscope. Myself Aryan Mishra reporting live from Holmes College. Today we are going to talk about China's military power and we have Professor Aisha with us. So ma'am, my first question to you is, do you think China keeps on flexing its military power?
Definitely flexing first of all means bragging, and China is known for bragging because he wants to expand and have his own rule on the whole globe, monetarily, physically, emotionally, and everything.
According to you, is Taiwan portraying itself as a victim before the global media?
I think so, definitely yes, because somewhere or the other, economically Taiwan wants to get converted with China.
Okay. Do you think China forcefully uses its military power to expand its area?
It does because it wants to compare himself with US. US has invested around say $899 billion and China has only invested 96 if I'm not wrong. So there is a huge vast percentage and hence it has to do the same.
Can you elaborate more about it?
So basically investment has taken place for the economic development. China is a developed country but not as good as US. So China wants to overrule US in the form of military, in the
have Professor Rushikesh with us. So sir, my first question to you is, do you think China keeps on flexing its military power?
Yes, I guess China has always flexed its military powers for a very, very long time, ever since it first tried to attack India in 1962. And after that, they've been doing it to a lot of other neighboring countries as well. Like you have Nepal, you have Taiwan, you have all these other nations, Bhutan for that matter as well, who are not very strong military-wise.
Okay.
And they've always believed that adding more pressure to these countries will probably gain them an upper hand. So hence, they keep on doing this with all these countries as well as India.
Okay. So second question is, according to you, is Taiwan portraying itself as a victim before the global media?
For certain events, yes. But Taiwan being, China says Taiwan is their part, but Taiwan wants independence, or they want to be a separate associate nation. तो इस केस में ऐसे होता है कि some things are there जहाँ Taiwan says that China is doing this to us, China is pressurizing us, they've been trying to use their military might over us, but given the same time, it seems like a political attempt to gain the favor from the global media.
Okay. So this was the opinion of Rushikesh sir. See you next time.